34% of Americans worry about money every single day. 54% feel exhausted from constantly trying to make their finances stretch. If that's you, I'm going to say something that sounds impossible at first. Then I'm going to prove it. Your financial stress is real, but it's not actually about the number in your account. It's about the state you're in when you look at the number, and that state is trainable. Let me name what you're living with. Precisely. The dread when a bill shows up, the shame around money you never say out loud, the sleeplessness over expenses, and underneath all of it, that constant hum of scarcity. Running even when you're technically fine, even when you're employed, even when the crisis has passed, it never fully shuts off. Here's what's actually happening. Financial stress puts you in a braced, reactive state, and in that state, you make worse decisions about money and about everything else. You avoid the bills instead of opening them. You spend to relieve the pressure. You take the job you shouldn't, or stay in the one that's draining you, because fear has the wheel. The scarcity state doesn't just feel bad, it costs you money. It makes the exact problem worse. And here's the part nobody explains. That scarcity state isn't really about your bank balance. Because you've watched it happen, people with plenty who still feel it, and people with very little who somehow don't. The hum isn't the number. The hum is a reactive pattern that got wired in long before this month's bills. For most people, it traces back to something. A childhood where money meant tension. A season where the ground fell away. A moment the security vanished. And your nervous system learned to brace. So now, even when the facts are fine, the bracing runs on its own. You're not responding to your actual finances. You're responding to an old alarm that never got turned off. Now here's the reframe, the one that changes the game. The problem was never only your finances. The problem is that you've been managing your money from a reactive state with no way back to a clear one. You've been deciding from the panic instead of from your own center. There's a moment before the scarcity spiral takes over where you're present, clear, fully yourself. I call it first cause, the moment before. And you can learn to return to it on demand, even with the bill sitting right there in front of you. This isn't positive thinking about money. I'm not going to tell you to manifest abundance. That's nonsense, and you're too smart for it. This is about the state you're deciding from, because a clear starting state produces better decisions, and better financial decisions made consistently change the actual numbers over time. Let me show you. The first 2 weeks, you catch yourself before the spiral runs. The bill shows up, the old dread starts, and you take 60 seconds to return before you react. And the decision that follows comes from a cleaner place. You open the envelope instead of avoiding it for a week. Small, but that's the whole pattern shifting. By 30 days, you can name 3 money moments you handled differently. You can see the change in data across 5 dimensions of your inner life, based on research. The reactive spending, the avoidance, the 3 a.m. math, measurably less. By 90 days, you're operating from a clearer place in every financial decision. Not because you got richer overnight, because you stopped making the fear-driven moves that were quietly bleeding you. You become the person who stays steady when the money's tight, instead of the one who panics and makes it worse. Let me be concrete about what those fear-driven moves actually cost you, because this isn't abstract. When you decide from scarcity, you take the first job offer instead of the right one, because the panic can't tolerate the wait. You sell the thing at the bottom because you can't sit with the discomfort. You avoid the hard conversation about money with your partner, so it festers into something worse. You don't negotiate the raise because from a braced state, asking feels too dangerous. None of those are money problems. They're state problems wearing a money costume. And they repeat month after month, year after year, quietly setting the ceiling on your whole financial life. Now flip it. A person who can return to clarity before they decide waits for the right job, holds the position through the discomfort, has the conversation, asks for the raise. Same income to start, completely different trajectory, because the decisions came from a different state. That's the compounding. Not a lucky windfall. 1,000 ordinary money decisions, each one made from clarity instead of fear, adding up over years. Here's the truth underneath all of it. You will not think your way out of financial stress while you're inside the scarcity state. The state comes first. Fix the state, and clearer decisions follow. Clearer decisions, compounded over months, change your actual situation. Every return is a rep. The reps build a permanently shorter path back to clarity. And clarity, applied to money, is worth more than almost any single financial tip you'll ever get. You are not bad with money. You've been making money decisions from a state that guarantees bad ones. Change the state. And let me be clear about what I'm not saying. I'm not saying your financial problems are imaginary. I'm not saying the bills aren't real or that clarity alone pays the rent. Real numbers are real. Some situations genuinely are hard, and no state of mind erases that. What I'm saying is narrower and more useful. Whatever your actual situation is, you will handle it better from a clear state than from a panicked one. That's true whether you have plenty or almost nothing. The person in real hardship needs clarity even more than the comfortable one does because they have less room to absorb a bad decision. When the margin is thin, a fear-driven move costs more, not less. So this isn't a luxury for people whose money is already fine. It's most valuable exactly when the stakes are highest. The clearer you can decide when it matters most, the better every hard season turns out. Not because the numbers magically change, because you stop making them worse. Find out exactly where you stand right now. Take the free assessment at consciousnesstrack.app/quiz. 5 minutes, completely free. It maps exactly where you are across 5 dimensions of your inner life. I'm Candace. I'll see you in the next one.